Living longer, living healthier, living better than ever before. Welcome to Mountain Pacific's Healthy Living for Life, a weekly series that gives you the information, education, and expert insight you need to become an active participant in today's ever-changing healthcare climate. Here now is today's program host.
In the United States, we waste roughly 60 million tons of food every year. With a glut of food going to waste, why then are so many wondering when they'll see their next meal? Food insecurity is a serious issue that faces many older adults, both right here in Montana and across the nation. Today's show is dedicated to discussing food insecurity and how this issue can be addressed. I'm your host, Lisa Sather. Welcome to Healthy Living for Life, a show dedicated to helping you do just that. Welcome back. I would like to introduce my first guests, Walter Hanley and Shauna Donaldson. Walter and Shauna are both with the Rocky Mountain Development Council based in Helena, Montana. Welcome to our show, both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So let's start out with each of you talking about the Rocky Mountain Development Council and your individual roles. I'd really like to hear about what you do there. Walter, let's start with you.
Yes. I'm the program director of nutrition transportation, the senior center, and commodities. We offer many nutrition programs, home delivered meals. Congregate meals is where people come into a site and have a meal, and then we do the commodities program, and we offer those programs in Broadwater, Jefferson, Lewis and Clark, Powell, and Marr counties. We serve really hundreds of thousands of meals every year. We also feed all the Head Start children in Whitehall, Townsend, and Helena. There's just a tremendous need for these nutrition programs. I can't tell you, amongst the children and adults, adults that are even under the age of 60, we come in touch with that are in need of food for various reasons. Older people, they're everywhere, and we find in some of the communities there's high populations, for instance, of cowboys or farm workers that worked all their lives, never paid into Social Security. They were paid cash. They were given their living quarters, so they don't have any of that stuff, and now they're out there trying to survive.
Sure.
And a huge problem with food insecurity. I mean, and there's lots of populations like that with women in railroad towns. Same thing, husbands have passed away and they never worked. And here they are, they get a small pension of $300 or $400, and that's it they have to live on per month. So our nutrition programs are a very valuable asset to all our communities. The commodities program is a program where we actually give people food. We give them a box of about 80 to 100 pounds of non-perishable foods every other month, and it really helps them out. We do about 700 in those counties, 700 people.
Great. Well, we'll get into some more details about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Shauna, tell us a little bit about what you do and maybe a little bit about the mission of the Rocky Mountain Development Council. I'd like to hear about that.
All right. So I am the nutrition program coordinator. So I work with all the programs that Walt directs. And with those programs, I do a lot of work. One big aspect of my job is the Meals on Wheels here in our area. So each person that comes on to Meals on Wheels, I talk with, I visit with, get them signed up, also find out kind of what their situation is, and I'm able to refer them on to other programs as well if they're eligible. So that's kind of what I do. Each day I go up into our daily dinner club and visit with our seniors up there and find out, get to know them, and also more about them and what they might need as well. So, and with Rocky Mountain Development Council, we're a community action agency. We are part of 10 community action agencies in Montana, and we are kind of our goal is to help those that need a hand up by helping them to get more self-sufficient and be able to provide for themselves.
Okay, Walter, so you mentioned food insecurity. You touched on that briefly just a minute ago. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what food insecurity is? Because I had not heard that term, and I think our viewers would really appreciate learning a little bit more about that.
Well, you know, there's people out there They don't have transportation to get food. They don't have the money to get the food. They don't have any social acquaintances or people, friends or families, believe it or not, that can help them out. I had a lady one time that lived in north of Lincoln, Montana, that I came across, who was, I believe she was 86 years old, and lived in a trailer home with a couple of big dogs. And I went to visit her to try to get her on our meals program, home delivered meals up there. And I found that her living quarters were extremely bad. The trailer house, the windows wouldn't close, no heat, no running water, no electricity. Mm-hmm. And I finally befriended her, and I was amazed. She did have a wood burning stove, but she couldn't produce heat with that because she was also blind.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
And she had no family. I mean, her husband was killed in the World War I, I believe, and she had these dogs and was out there blind. And I got her on our Meals and Wheels program through the Lincoln branch of our service, and actually brought her into town for our congregate meal once a month so she could get a little socialization and stuff. But
yes.
The people that were delivering the meals there actually told me that their animals had a better lifestyle than this woman had. It was absolutely unbelievable. And how she could survive being blind like that out there was incredible. And she would not move. There was no way anybody was going to move her out of there. And there's a lot of that goes on, an awful lot. And you know, people live in Montana, it's always us Montanans take care of everybody, and it doesn't happen here. Yeah. But if they want to come with me for a day or two in Shauna, they'll find out that it's everywhere. It's not just in Chicago
yes.
or New York or wherever. We have a lot of it, an awful lot, and it's really a sad situation. One of the things that it comes to my mind all the time that is sad is these people are alone and don't have anybody, and what they do is they get a pet, a dog or whatever, and it becomes their family.
Yes.
And the little bit of money they have, they're spending on the pet,
yes.
for vaccinations instead of their own money, buying food for the pet instead of buying food for themselves. Yeah. And I can totally understand it because that's their whole life.
That's right.
But it's such a sad thing that goes on.
Hold that thought. We're going to be right back after a quick break. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about available programs you can tap into in just a moment.